which is that the goal is to be religious inside the masjid. The goal is to dress and act a certain way inside the masjid. And there are certain things that are off limits in the masjid, but once I come out of the masjid, everything is freedom. I can do whatever I want at that point. Right? It's, the goal is to be religious when I'm amongst Muslims. The goal is to dress a certain way when I'm amongst Muslims. The goal is to act a certain way when I'm amongst Muslims. But the problem is that all of those standards get thrown out of the window once we leave the masjid. So there are certain things that you cannot do in the masjid. How dare you walk into a masjid that way? And the masjid, which is in essence supposed to be a clinic for sick people, has turned into what we want to be, what we want to fulfill all of our cultural pretenses, our false cultural pretenses. Everything is off limits here. We want to pretend that no problems exist in the masjid. We want to pretend that we're all ideal people, mashallah. But once we come out of the masjid, everything changes. Right? And I'll give you this example, and this is a cultural hypocrisy that we'll see, for example. The whole concept of sisters in the masjid. This was something, this is something in some countries, that, I think you all know this, that women aren't even allowed in the masjid. Right? So subhanAllah, in my masjid, for example, we once had a sister that drove for 3 hours from a small town to ask questions about Islam. She was a non-Muslim. She wasn't wearing hijab. She walked to the front door, and someone walked out and said, if you're going to dress like that, go home. Right? That same person owns a business, owns a convenience store. And I've seen that same person in the convenience store, and mashallah, hi Julie, how are you? How is your day today? You look so pretty and charming today. How is it? It's like, so in the masjid, the sister became an alien. Outside of the masjid, she's worth nothing. Subhanallah. So it's a cultural hypocrisy, right? That the goal is to be religious in religious environments, to basically put a pretty face to an ugly relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Put on a nice face, right? And that's the problem. That in and of that right there is the core of the problem, right? And we basically, again, that's like saying that the goal of rehab is to be good in rehab, to be sober in rehab. It's easy to be sober in rehab. The real test of whether your rehab was successful is when you come out of rehab. And that doesn't mean that you go looking for tough situations. Right? That doesn't mean if you had previous problems with alcohol, you go play pool in a bar. Or that just means that, subhanAllah, what's going to show whether or not the effect of the salah was truly there, whether or not the effect of your ibadat was truly there, whether or not the effect of that good environment of deen. Yes, the environment of deen is important, these halaqat are important, but what's going to determine the success of this halaqah and other gatherings is how you act once you leave. Where your eyes wander once you open that door, right? That's going to determine the success of this program and of a deen environment. And again, subhanAllah, we look at Ramadan. Is the goal in Ramadan to be religious inside of Ramadan, or is the goal of Ramadan كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ? The goal of Ramadan, all of that we have, is so that we can gain a sense of taqwa, of consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that causes us to be in awe of Him. Right? And, as one of the scholars said, فَيَا تَرَى مَا الْفَائِدَةُ بِعِبَادَةِ شَهْرٍ كَامِلًا إِنْ أَتْبَعْتَهَا بِعَوْدَةٍ إِلَى السُّلُوكِ الشَّأْنِ. What's the point of an entire month of ibadah if you follow it up with its complete opposite in terms of behavior and action? What's the point? Right? It's like as soon as Ramadan is... You guys have Eid Milans here, right? Eid parties and stuff like that? You guys have Eid parties? And it's like, subhanAllah, it's like they should seriously hang a banner that says, welcome back, Shaitan. Like, we missed you. Because we're going to do everything in